Hello, people, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Deep Roy Chaudhary, and I'm just a normal person who talks about stuff that seems interesting to me. Today, I'm going to talk about the fact that the world has become a better place to live in 2020 or 2020 compared to what it was ever before in the history of human civilization. I think we can comfortably say that. Now, of course, you might disagree. A lot of people would disagree, considering the current circumstances, the current pandemic, that the whole situation of the COVID-19 pandemic that is that we humans are in the middle of. So I can understand that at the end of the day, a lot of people would not be feeling very optimistic, and especially if you are one of those people who has lost a loved one to this pandemic. I mean, my condolences with you. I can understand that life might seem very bleak to you, and even if even if you are not one of those who has lost a loved one to this pandemic, you might have lost your job because of this pandemic, because this pandemic has caused lockdowns in literally almost every country, or almost all the countries around the world. It has caused a lockdown, and that eventually has led to the fact that millions of people around the world. I'm pretty sure it's not just in America. It's not just in developing countries. I'm pretty sure it's around the world that millions of people have lost their jobs, have lost their livelihoods because of this pandemic, because of the ongoing lockdowns that are in place in different countries. So I can understand that a lot of people a lot of my viewers might be feeling very pessimistic regarding the current situation. But if we analyze the current situation and compare it with the situation that humans, that our ancestors had to live through in the 14th century, in the 15th century, in the 6th century, in the 7th century BC, in those times, life was actually way harsher than what it is today. Brush away, or I'm not trying to downplay the viciousness of this pandemic, the dangers of this pandemic. Of course, this pandemic is dangerous. Of course, you have to be cautious, in order to make sure that you don't contract this pandemic, and and you do not spread this pandemic to some loved one of yours, because it will cause a huge amount of a huge amount of trouble, and it can be, this virus can be deadly for a lot of people. But the point that I'm trying to make is, if we compare this pandemic, and of course we don't have proper medicine for this, proper cure for this. We don't have a vaccine to fight against this with this virus. But if we compare our situation today to the situation that humans were in when the bubonic plague was happening, it happened somewhere in the 15th century or 16th century. I might be wrong about the dates, about the exact date of when the bubonic plague, the truly horrific bubonic plague that ravaged almost the entire world, and led to the deaths of almost I think maybe more than half of the population of half of the population of the world, or maybe close to half of the population of the world. Basically, a huge chunk of the population of the world during the medieval era died because of this bubonic plague. And of course, the coronavirus is, if we compare it statistically, only 2% of coronavirus infections are actually leading to fatalities. That is also wrong. That is also horrific. That is also very dangerous. That is also really heartbreaking to even see 2% of 7 billion people. I mean, imagine if everyone around in this world have contracted this virus, then 2% of 7 billion, that would be a huge number of people that would die. And we have to make sure that we have to prevent this the spread of this virus at all costs. We have to take precautions against this. But medical science today has made so many advances, and even researchers around the world are working night and day in order to make sure that we can have a cure for this virus, and we can have a we can also develop a vaccine to fight against this new strain of coronavirus. This wasn't there during the time of the bubonic plague. In those times, people did not understand what germs were, what microscopic or microorganisms were. People did not know that. So, because of literally no knowledge, no proper knowledge of medical science during those times around the world, millions of people, millions of people lost their lives because of the bubonic plague. The same happened with other pandemics throughout history. I'm pretty sure the same kind of thing might have happened in the Spanish flu. Again, I'm not an expert on infectious diseases. Some expert on infectious diseases can elaborate about the viciousness about the dangers of the Spanish flu in a way better manner than I can, than a layman like me can. But all I'm saying is that all the medical advances that we, or all the medical advancements that we human beings have in the 21st century, human beings of the 15th century did not have that available to them. Human beings of the 6th century AD did not have that available to them. Human beings of 7th century BC did not have those medical advancements available at their disposal. So by that logic, I'm pretty sure that you would agree. I'm pretty sure that everyone would agree that the world, we are living in a truly privileged time, and of course, there are problems. There have always been problems, but I'm pretty sure that I am hopeful that people of this world can come together and solve those problems eventually. And I will talk more about this topic, about the world becoming a better place today than it was ever before. I will talk more about this topic in my next video. Until then, please consider hitting the like button for my videos, for this video. Please consider sharing this video with others, and please consider subscribing to my channel. That would help me a lot. And last but not the least, stay safe, goodbye, and God bless you.